Hi everyone, Professor Snart here. I'm just checking in as I'm grading essay number one. I'm trying to get through them as quickly as possible and get them back to you since obviously for Unit 8, which is the next unit that we're working on, you have the opportunity to revise what you wrote for essay number one, Unit 7. As you can read in the due dates, the turnaround time is really quick, which is why I'm trying to get through these and get them back to you as fast as I can. So Unit 8, the revision, Essay 2, is due Thursday, June 17th, which is, again, just a couple days away. It's Tuesday right now as I'm recording this. I'm sorry, it's Wednesday right now. Tuesday was the due date for Unit 1. So be sure to check in and get, obviously, the grade for Essay 1, but be sure you read the comments, both that I've appended to the grade, but that are embedded in the text as well. So I've often highlighted things or asked questions or suggested wording changes or made corrections throughout the text of everybody's essay. So there should be a file you're getting back, basically just your essay file. And obviously, for your revision for Essay 2, which is Unit 8, you want to be careful that you've cleared out or erased all of the comments that I've put in there, so you don't want to leave those in. And do read carefully. I've put most of them in square brackets and tried to highlight a few things, but they will be often for people throughout the essay. So for Unit 8, then, you are looking at, and I have it right here in front of me, the primary thing that you're doing is obviously revising based on feedback that I've provided to you, and even your own editing as you read through your work again. But the primary thing is to integrate a secondary source. I've already talked about secondary sources. They have to be, probably for most people, database sources specific to the story that you're talking about. So Boys and Girls by Alice Munro, or Flight Patterns by Sherman Alexie might be the exception to the rule, in that you may not find anything on flight patterns per se, but you can still find things, articles or database material about Sherman Alexie more generally, although again, you're looking for specific discussions of sort of themes or ideas that tend to show up in his work generally that you can then use to support the idea that you're talking about, specifically in Flight Patterns might be the example. Most people tended to do Munro's Boys and Girls, though, so there's lots of database material specifically on that. Obviously, so what I'm looking for then is, and this is why your grade can actually go down even if you make the corrections, because I'm primarily looking at, did you find a correct and appropriate source? Is it integrated throughout the essay, not just once or twice, and not just appended to the end of every paragraph, like you've just sort of stuck it onto the end of everything? And then, of course, are quotations used effectively, introduced properly, cited properly? Did you get the work cited then correct? So you're now going to have at least two entries, one for the short story that you've already got, and then one for the database. Now there's one, and I'll put this in with the announcement, there's one crucial thing to remember, is that sometimes the databases, and I hate the fact that they do this, they show you what they think the proper citation should be, so people are tempted to just cut and paste into their work cited. But unfortunately, the formatting for what they give you is wrong, so I wish they just didn't give anything. So again, as with the short story, be sure you're following the model on the Citing Sources, the COD Library Citing Sources webpage for a journal article from a database. It's pretty simple. And you'll see that the formatting that the database itself gives is not even really close to what's actually correct. So be careful you don't just cut and paste from the database source, but actually go through and do the entry yourself by following the model. I'll provide the link as part of the announcement as well. Okay, so I think that's it. Be sure to get in there, get your grade, get those comments, which are really the important part, get to the revision, and be sure you're integrating that appropriate secondary source. If you have any questions, particularly about comments that I might have made or corrections that you're not sure about, be sure to get in touch with me. Again, we have a really quick turnaround time, so time is of the essence as we get into this.